Hey guys, Sean with Longhorn Honeymoon here, coming to you once again from the banks of the Gros Ventre River in Grand Teton National Park. I'm calling this week's episode Dreams and Reality because this week we got a healthy dose of both. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking this one looks like me. Very funny. There are times out here, this time of year, when experiences can almost seem dreamlike. Now, there are other times when life goes on and reality steps up to slap you in the face and bring you back down to earth. We started out this week with the goal of going on one or more hikes and having some experiences that would be unique to us. You know, even though we've been coming to this part of the country for many, many years, there's always something new to explore. There's always a road that you've never been down. There's always another hiking trail. There's always another activity or experience to enjoy.
I don't know, but I've been told Eskimo kittens are mighty cold. That is the rated G version because we are a family show.
So this past week for our first hike, we are about to embark on the Blacktail Butte hiking trail, which is located not too far from the Gros Ventre campground that we have made our little home base here for the past couple of weeks. You can see these hills adjacent to the campground. And in fact, they are what obfuscates the view of the Grand Tetons when you're in the Gros Ventre campground. So when you look towards the Grand Tetons, this Blacktail Butte and the surrounding hills are what are getting in your way of that mountain view that you really want. Here we see a couple of bears enjoying a cooler of Miller Lite. This Blacktail Butte trailhead, you start out kind of walking across a field, then you start to get into more of a wooded area, and the autumn colors are really beginning to pop. We haven't reached peak autumn yet here in the Tetons, not by a long shot, but the colors are just beautiful already. Well, one thing I learned about Blacktail Butte, it's a lot tougher than it looks. So once you walk across the little field, you start climbing the hills and your body temperature rises. My hat's coming off for a while, I think. So there you can see kind of where we have come from. And this, at this point, is a very well-marked trail. But my wife says we can expect about 1,400 feet of incline on this trail. And one of the issues here is the altitude. The view just keeps getting better. Yep. yeah, it's quite a nice payoff once you climb that 2,000 feet. I am in at least halfway decent shape, but at this higher altitude, I find myself short of breath frequently just because there's not as much oxygen in the air. I wake up with nosebleeds quite often when we're here. Of course, over time, you adjust to the altitude. Nutrition bar with caffeine. Guys, I married a younger woman, you know, with the idea that she was going to keep me young. Not doing a very good job of that, I'm afraid.
Sure I am. You're on this hike, aren't you?
I hadn't made it out alive yet. So this is either moose poop or someone is eating at Taco Bell. I mean, this trail is basically just up, up, up. I want to up Chuck. This hike again makes the point that if you are someone who doesn't like to be around crowds in our national parks and you're fit and healthy enough to get on a hiking trail, and that's what you need to be doing. Because we've been walking for the last 90 minutes or so, have not encountered a single other person, and it's very quiet, very peaceful back here. Really the only sound is wind blowing through the trees and the occasional trickle of water along a creek. I think I just heard the cry of a yellow-bellied wookalar. They're very active this time of year. I hear my wife singing and clapping up ahead. You know, it is true that you go on hikes in this part of the country and you quickly realize that you are not at the top of the food chain on these trails. You learn some respect. And gotta say, this is grizzly country. Listen to the leaves rustling in the trees. Very peaceful.
Very quiet.
Yikes, I just heard something.
Yeah. I don't know if that was a tree.
As if on cue, we just heard
Making some noise.
a disturbing sound.
Making noise. Making noise. La 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 la.
Hey, bear. Yeah, this is kind of dreamlike, you know? We didn't see a single person on the hike. And it really serves to prove that even in these times of a crowded national parks, packed campgrounds, and busy hiking trails, if you select a less popular, less trafficked hiking trail, you can still get out there in the wilderness and enjoy quiet and solitude. So So this is the bottom of our master closet. We lift the special trapdoor and reveal our water pump. Now, how about for a dose of reality? We got back from our hike at Blacktail Butte, all dirty and sweaty, looking forward to those long hot showers we would be taking in our travel trailer. Well, guess what? Our water pump stopped working. We went to turn it on and it simply would not pump water. This pump is no more. Bereft of life, it rests in peace. It's expired and gone to meet its maker. It's a stiff. Or maybe it's just pining for the fjords. Now, what happens if you can't pump water in an RV and you have no city water hookup, as is the case here in this campground? Well, you get no water out of your faucets, you get no water in your toilet, so you can't really properly flush your toilet. Oh boy. And you can't take a shower. And with this dose of reality, we come to one of the downsides of this area. Lady, a few years ago, wearing a mask like that in public would have got you shot in this town. Looks like a horse thief to me. The only town, which is Jackson, is a charming small town with pretty limited shopping options, especially if you're in the market for a new RV water pump. There's simply none available anywhere that we could find in Teton County, and the nearest RV supply store is located all the way over in Idaho, in Idaho Falls. We were trying to figure out what to do about this water pump problem when I got a text from my friend Ronnie, who you may know as Airstream Nuts and Bolts, who installed our wonderful solar package for us last year. And we were talking about possibly taking a hike together. And I told Ronnie, well, we're going to have to make an emergency run for supplies over to Idaho Falls to grab a water pump. And Ronnie replied, I have a water pump. He was carrying a spare, brand new water pump. So this is a new water pump that our friend Ronnie, who you may know as Airstream Nuts and Bolts, just happened to grab off his shelf and carry with him on this trip.
So you're in your film now. You take some B-roll? I'm always B-roll, Sean. This is all
Your A-roll this week. A-roll.
A-roll.
This is A-roll.
Starring role this week.
Yeah, this is
Go.
special guest star. Airstream Nuts and Bolts.
All the way from Alabama.
Yeah.
Service call.
The only water pump in Wyoming. Who carries a spare water pump with them on an RV trip? A genius, I tell you. And I think in the future, I will also carry a spare water pump. A brand new water pump of the kind that we use costs $70 to $80. It's a very reasonable expense. But in this case, if we had had to go all the way over to Idaho, it also would have cost us an entire day of travel.
I should smell better.
She smells better than I do, I can tell you that.
You too for
Yep, thank you, Ron. Thank you, Ronnie.
Yep. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
You guys saved the day, totally. I mean, you know, all these years of coming to this area, we had never really done a proper horseback ride. So this particular horse ride has been unusually great because of the scenery. As many years as we've been coming out to this part of the country, been coming to Gros Ventre, to Jackson, never really seen the town from this angle before. Never seen the elk refuge from this angle. And it's just really gorgeous. Really, it's views in all directions at the moment. So it appears that I have drawn the horse with an independent streak. As luck would have it, I got the most rambunctious horse of the bunch. No snacking. You know, anytime you do one of these horseback rides, it always seems like there's one horse that truly has a mind of its own and wants to wander, go off the path, snack along the way. If I can't snack, you can't snack. And in this case, Trina, my horse, was the little stinker, as our guide so accurately put it. Yeah, sorry. Carving our own path over here. If you've never done a horseback ride before, you're gonna have the most beautiful scenic horseback ride of your life. So it's definitely an hour well spent, highly recommended. Well, I just stepped outside of our camper. That's no mouse. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I may have to revise my advice about the early bird getting the moose. Had a bull and a cow, so it was a late night, day night, and the bull was running around pretty aggressively. No one seems to be awake around here right now. Everybody's asleep. There's no campfires, nobody out in the campsites, and this bull is just running around back and forth, but everybody's asleep, so nobody's seeing it. Yeah. So here we are after a couple of magical weeks in the Tetons. Today is our final day here at the Gros Ventre campground, and I've strolled over to the river for one final relaxing moment. Leaves are starting to come down off the trees. We're here in late September, and we have just beautiful autumn colors everywhere we look. But I really want to thank everyone who has reached out to us, who has stopped by and said hello, who has given us positive energy. We have received gifts, everything from goat's milk soap to huckleberry honey to some great beer and wine, and many really sweet cards and letters and notes. We're so happy that we have been able to positively affect your lives in some way.
Kind of looks like the one.
The
star.
Smile away.
There you go. Thank you, guys. Also want to especially thank the campground hosts, Pam and Dennis Dixon. You know, I've worked in a national park, and people work in national parks because they love the outdoors and they love our parks. So we want to really be considerate of all the people who are working for the parks. So here's one last inspection of our campsite. Double check your bear safe storage locker. Make sure it's empty and clean. No trash in the fire pit. No trash anywhere, hopefully. And until next year, Gros Ventre, see ya. It's been great. So that's it, guys. Yet another sloppy episode of Dreams and Reality. Real life traveling with our Airstream travel trailer. Thanks as always for tuning in. I'm Sean, this is Long Long Honeymoon. If you're new to our channel, please subscribe. This channel first appeared on YouTube all the way back in 2006. We have been coming to the Grovant campground regularly since 2007. Every year we've been here has been a little bit different. Every year has been fantastic. All we ask is that you leave a site for us when we come out to visit. Thanks guys for tuning in. We'll catch you next week on Long Long Honeymoon, where we say, lo lo ho.